Hello students, we are handling a module called communication electronics and we have seen amplitude modulation aspects, and right now we will be discussing a session on uh, power in AM wave and followed by a transistor AM modulator, and we will be ending the session with the limitations of amplitude modulation. So let us see it. Let's have a recap on the equation that we derived about amplitude modulation. This one is our amplitude modulation equation. The yellow term represents our carrier component. The orange term represents our upper sideband because it is omega c plus omega m. The lower sideband is represented by the blue term. So these three terms constitute our amplitude modulated signal, and our information is lying inside this parameter small letter m and omega m. Here also you can see our information content is in small letter m and omega m. Why we are considering these two parameters as our information? That is because our information is represented by two things. One is the frequency as well as, and the second one is our amplitude. So frequency is there directly here, and amplitude is shown here as modulation index. What is modulation index? It is the ratio between a ratio of SM0 to SE0, and that is SM0 is our amplitude of the modulating signal. So our both informations, that is amplitude information as well as frequency information, comes into these two terms, that is the upper sideband and the lower sideband, and the carrier component is free of any information. Okay, so let us see how much power is there inside this all these three components. So in order to find that, we need to have the RMS value of these individual components. So to find out the RMS value, we need to find out the peak value. The peak value is given here. SE0 is the peak value of carrier, and MSE0 by 2 is the peak value of upper sideband. MSE0 by 2 is the peak value of lower sideband. So our carrier amplitude is given by SE0 divided by root 2. That means this amplitude is a RMS amplitude. So upper sideband RMS amplitude is also given by peak amplitude, that is MSE0 by 2 divided by root 2. That is why your amplitude is like this. Similarly for the lower sideband also. And the power is directly proportional to the square of the amplitude. So when we find out the carrier power, it is like square of the amplitude, this carrier amplitude. So that is given here, which is simplified into SE0 square by 2. And similarly for the upper sideband power. So the upper sideband power is directly proportional to the square of the amplitude, RMS amplitude. So that is also shown here. Similarly for the lower sideband. And now the total power in this equation is given by, this AM wave is given by power total is equal to power carrier plus power upper sideband plus power lower sideband. All these three components, the power inside each of these components are added up to get the total power of the AM wave. Thus, when you substitute the values for each of the power components, then you get an equation like this. These two components are the same, so you can add up those and you get something like this, out of which you can take the common factors and you get an equation like this. And what is SE0 square by 2? That happens to be our carrier power. See, SE0 square by 2, and that is substituted like this, and you get an equation for total power and carrier power related by the factor modulation index. Okay, so let us find out another equation which represents the sideband fraction of the entire wave, total power. So the sideband power is given by upper sideband power plus lower sideband power. So that is written here, and how much of that, how much is that when you consider the total power? So that is given by dividing it with the total power. So you are dividing it with the total power is here, and that is being divided here, and these SE0 square terms will go off, this 2 and 4 will go off, and m square will be there, and you get some equation like this, and this is what you get, m square by 2, 2 plus m square, 2 by 2 plus m square. So the 2's goes off, and you get an equation like this. So your sideband power is equal to total power times m square by m square plus 2. And let us consider the best case if you modulate. The best case when you modulate is when m is equal to 1. That means critical modulation. M should not be greater than 1. M can be less than 1 but not 0. M should be greater than and less than 1. Greater than 0 and less than 1. So when you consider the best possible, ideally possible modulation scheme, that is m is equal to 1. So I have written here m is equal to 1, and when you substitute that m is equal to 1 inside this equation, you get sideband power is equal to total power into 1 square by 1 square plus 2. And when you simplify this, you get sideband power is 1/3 of the total power. So in this equation, from this equation you can see that if you modulate a wave, an amplitude modulated wave with 100% modulation, or modulation index is equal to 1, that is 100% modulation, that is the best case that we have. Still you are having only 1/3 of the total power in the sidebands, and this is a drawback. Why is it a drawback? That is because our sidebands are the carriers of our information, not the main carrier. So the sidebands are taking our information content and not the carrier power. Okay, so a majority of power is given inside or is distributed inside the carrier, which doesn't convey any information, but only 1/3 is seen inside the sidebands, both sidebands together, only 1/3 if the modulation index is in its best possible value, that is 1. So 1 is the best possible value, and that is not practically possible, which means that it is the power that is inside the sidebands is less than 1/3 actually. So the entire power is being taken up by the carrier side of the amplitude modulated wave, and the power conditions, values inside these two components are much smaller. Okay. So that is one drawback of amplitude modulation. Okay, let us see the transistor AM modulator circuit. So this circuit is essentially a single stage common emitter amplifier. Just neglect the terms SM and the carrier, then it's just the single stage common emitter amplifier with a voltage divider bias. Thus, the signal that we are going to amplify is the carrier signal. So the carrier signal goes into the base of the transistor, and you can see that the voltage at this point, that is the voltage at the voltage divider V2, that point can be represented like this. V2 as per the Kirchhoff's voltage law is equal to VBE plus IE RE, that is the current times resistance of the resistance RE plus SM. And what is SM? SM is like this. SM is, when you substitute our definition for SM, then it is like SM0 cos omega mt. So this is our definition for SM. So this is our V2. I can call this as, say, this entire thing as, say, VE. I will call it as VE. Thus our V2 is equal to VBE plus VE. What is VE? VE is a function of SM. So I will write it like this. VE is a function of SM. Here V2 is a constant. V2 is a constant because there is a voltage divider bias. It won't change. The voltage at this point, the DC voltage at this point won't change. So this V2 is a constant. Then comes VBE and then VE, which is a function of SM. VE is the entire voltage due to this voltage source, the modulating signal, as well as the resistance RE. So that is the voltage at this point. this point. So the voltage difference between this is VBE. These 2 points, this point and this point, between these 2 points is VBE. That is here. So that voltage is like it is being determined completely by VE, the voltage due to SM and RE. So whenever this voltage increases, the VBE it compresses the VBE, which means the VBE decreases because this voltage V2 is a constant. That is why whenever this voltage increases, that is whenever this voltage increases, then VBE will decrease, and whenever this voltage decreases, then VBE will increase. So the voltage is being, the base emitter voltage is being modulated by this message signal SM. That means that the gain of the transistor single stage common emitter amplifier, the voltage gain of the single stage common emitter amplifier, let me write it like this. So the voltage gain AB is a function of SM. That is our modulating signal. This is the advantage of this circuit. The voltage gain is a function of SM. So the gain is a function of our message signal here. Okay. So that is how you get an output which has the carrier itself, but its amplitude, the peak amplitudes are changing at each instant. The instantaneous peak amplitude is being changed. So it looks like our amplitude modulator signal. So this is how the transistor AM modulator is working. Okay, let's see some limitations of amplitude modulated signal. The first limitation is its noisy reception. For any signal, a noise can significantly affect its amplitude. So that is why AM broadcasting stations are less preferred than FM broadcasting stations, because AM broadcasting stations we are modulating over the amplitude of the carrier, which means the carrier's amplitude can be modified or distorted or disturbed using some other noisy signals which can easily affect the amplitude of the signal. So that is why the noisy reception of the AM. The second thing is its low efficiency, that we have seen in the power relations that even in the best case scenario, we are only having 1/3 of the total power inside the sidebands, which means our information is being transmitted at 1/3 power of the total power. That is a limitation in power. So the efficiency of transmission is much reduced in the case of amplitude modulation. The third thing is operating more range, that is the distance up to which the signal can be operated, that is much small. So the distances become small basically because of the noisy reception itself. And the fourth obvious thing is the lack of audio quality. Now suppose if we want to transmit a music concert or something like that, it requires frequencies up to 15 kilohertz, which means that you need a bandwidth of 30 kilohertz. Let me write that down. So for a good transmission we require 15 kilohertz. Okay, so this is signals up to the maximum frequency. FM max should be 15 kilohertz, which means our bandwidth should be 2 times FM max, as we have seen in the case of amplitude modulation. So this is 30 kilohertz. But unfortunately, we are allowed to transmit just a bandwidth of 10 kilohertz. Just a bandwidth of 10 kilohertz. This is the allowed bandwidth allowed. So the bandwidth allowed is 10 kilohertz, which means the maximum frequency allowed, FM max allowed is equal to half of this, that is 5 kilohertz. And 5 kilohertz is way too bad for us. for especially for a musical concert to be transmitted. You will not get a good quality. So that is why we say the audio quality is lacking in AM. Why we are choosing a bandwidth of 10 kilohertz? That is because we need to accommodate more more broadcasting stations in the specified AM broadcasting spectrum. That is why we are having only 10 kilohertz of bandwidth. So the 10 kilohertz, and there will be additional guard bands to guard between two adjacent stations to avoid interference. So altogether you have only 10 kilohertz to transmit using AM. So that is why any musical concert that is being transmitted over amplitude modulation scheme, that will be suffering a lot of quality. Okay. So these are the limitations of AM. So let's stop at this, and we'll see in the next video about the further developments. Thank you.